folks. Well, the Australian police have been caught in their hypocrisy. I watch a fair bit of Sky News Australia. I said I quit watching Fox News because they're too liberal. And Sky News Australia, it has its moments. You know, the left is creeping in there, but as of now, there's still a good bit of conservative programming. It's quite a shame to watch the left creep into every single mainstream media outlet, which is something that we need to correct. And I think it's just a lack of courage and determination and passion on the part of the conservatives, but we need to start working harder to keep and take back mainstream media. It can be done. Now, last week I heard the story about how a pregnant mother, was arrested for complaining about the lockdowns on Facebook or saying something like she wanted to protest or something. And the police showed up at her house and arrested her. I mean, Katie Hopkins shared video, Sky News Australia shared the video, the commentators were all talking about it, so I'm guessing that's a story that has gone viral on the internet. And Mr. Bolt was talking about it just the other day, saying how the police admit that they are not going to prosecute the violent offenders, but they are going to go after the law-abiding citizens. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, says to me that these are some police that need defunded. Police who do not care who is paying their bills, the taxpayers or their employers, and they are ready to feed the taxpayers, their bosses, to the wolves because they are scared of the rioters. Now, that is why they have their job, so that citizens don't have to be scared of the rioters. The police are supposed to take care of the tough stuff. And also, we all know that the longer you wait to try to take control of the situation, the more uncontrollable it is going to be. So, you can't have law enforcement that is so afraid of the criminals that they put the people in front of the criminals and actively prosecute the people. They will have to be defunded. There is no excuse for that behavior. Absolutely none. So the people need to protest. They need to push for the resignations of police and politicians, and those that can be impeached must be impeached. We've just come out of a bunch of soft times where everyone is cowardly and everyone is wimpy, and they can't even stand anyone saying boo to them without freaking. I said all criminals have to do today to get what they want is say boo, boo, boo to the police, and they will just say, "Hear everything, don't touch me, don't make such a horrible face at me, I can't stand it, I can't stand horrible faces, oh!" So, we have gone beyond wimp, we have gone beyond coward. We are just in a state of complete patheticism. And this shows that these police can be bought. And they're for sale to the highest bidder when they're supposed to be agents of the state and the government to protect the citizens who pay taxes. And this is something that the citizens cannot stand for. But these government officials know if they can, pick people off one by one, they will try to scare people from resisting them. However, there comes a point where, compliance is violence is ridiculous, because the average people will have nothing to lose to stand up to the police, because the violent rioters are coming for the average people, and the violent rioters are coming for the so-called police. They're just going to maybe eat the police next week instead of today. So there's nothing to be accomplished by capitulating to the violent. There is nothing. In fact, you're just laying the groundwork for your eventual destruction. And it's hard to believe that our societies and Western cultures have deteriorated to the point where our governments and law enforcements are bowing down and scraping to criminals just for anything. They're just so scared. Why? I would think I can see why little people might be scared, but why would the governments and resources be so willing to bow to the anarchists? And that is because they are part of them. The left wing has infiltrated our institutions, and the left wing is also the instigator of the rioting and the anarchy. So they're a part, and it's not just because they're plain scared or just plain cowardly. They are in cahoots, collusion, if you will. So it's good these things are being brought. And I said, the police are the same in America, same in the UK, same in other parts of Europe. And like I said, these jobs became too comfortable, and they became too used to the people not doing anything. So it's obvious that the people are going to have to become a problem for these politicians. The government should be fearing the people, not the people fearing the government. Right now we have the government fearing the criminals and not fearing the people. So this needs to change. And to the left, freedom includes crime. The freedom to loot and steal and beat people up, that is part of the left's freedom. But we on this channel, we know that that is not what freedom is. Freedom the Pilgrims sought was the freedom to worship God, something the left knows nothing about. Freedom to work and keep the fruits of their labor. Freedom from high taxes, which is something else we need to take up one of these days once we're not going off the edge. And freedom to say things like, the president stinks, and not having to live in fear that your neighbor would report you without worrying about somebody knocking on your door. But unfortunately, guess who we have? These left-wing groups like the BLM, if you say they stink, or any of these doctors in quotation marks, that are a part of the left's pandemic squad. If you say something about them, against them, they will try to knock at your door. They will. So that shows there is tyranny at work here. There is tyranny. And the people are going to have to push back culturally and even physically. Many people are having to do that. So if we want a better tomorrow, we need to put in the work today. So it's an absolute disgrace to see these police admit that they are, bowing and scraping and begging to the criminals whilst arresting a poor mother for complaining about lockdown on Facebook. So, people, we have our work cut out for us if we are to save Western civilization. And it comes through a lot of prayer and a lot of work. So, we need to get going. All right, let freedom ring.